Fantastic. I'm Andy Rawll, and this is for metaltalk.net, and we're here to talk about your new adventure, your new fiery band.
Yes.
So I want to hear a little bit more about how the band came into being, the name of the band. So just give me kind of an intro of how it got started.
Well, I was working with Ayreon for the Gentle Storm. We made this album together. We put quickly a band together to play live, because I said, like, Ayreon doesn't tour live and I do. And I said, oh, this album is so good, I want to play live. And he said, okay, I'll help you put a band together. So we did, like, in a hurry. And then we got to playing, and I thought, holy shit, this band, this live band is so good. And it got me all, like, inspired to. For a long time, I wanted to write, to have my own, like, to create my own metal album, solo album. But I never got around to do it, maybe not the people around me, and I thought, if I ever want to make a metal prog album, then these are the people I want to do it with. And Joost van den Broek was playing keys at the time.
Yeah.
He's a fantastic producer, so he's produced the album. So I asked everybody, and they all kind of pretty much all said yes. So here we are, I asked them, like, would you go with me to my solo album? And they all said, okay. So here we are, and we made, like, a kick-ass album. I'm so happy with it.
Yeah, it's great. I've been listening to it yesterday and today.
Yeah.
Sounds really good. So I was going to ask you, you've given the band a name rather than calling it a solo project.
Yeah.
What was the reason for that?
Well, the thing is, for the last 10 years I've been doing so many things at the same time as well. So projects, solo albums, albums with band names, albums without band names, and frankly, a lot of people were confused, and so was I. And when I was touring with the Gentle Storm and thinking about this new band and this new album and the direction, I was thinking, maybe for once and for all I should make some clarity into my career. And so I thought, for once and for all, I'll give this band a name, but it's my solo album, but it will have a name. And everything, hopefully with the same people I do under VUUR, will be heavy, heavy, heavy. And everything else, like acoustic solo stuff, or soft stuff, or classical stuff, or whatever, I do a lot in Holland in the theaters, like theater plays, I do under my own name, which makes things a bit more clear, and I can really focus on what I'm doing, because VUUR to me became so important that I wanted to focus. Like, normally I would write an album and do 2 projects at the same time, but I did nothing. I did only writing, recording for VUUR.
And tell me, so I read that part of the journey around the lyrics of the theme was you moving back into the city. What was kind of the drive or the motivation for moving back to the city?
I like moving, period. I like traveling, I like being in an airplane, and I like visiting places. With touring, that's great, because I get to do that all the time. But I also like moving house every, like, 8 years. I get an itch. I have to. And my poor husband and kids, they move with me. No, they like it too. But I just like to be literally moving all the time. And we lived in a really small village for like 8 years, 9 years, which we really loved. And it's quiet, and it's earthy, and it's surrounded by nature and wonderful. And I just want to go back to city and to sniff up life a little bit more, also at my homestead, And so that's kind of the reason why I don't know if I'll ever settle down, I have a family, but the family is moving around, and I like that. So.
Yeah, so the family is your city, right?
I know, and you know what? They always we have a son of 12 years old. He used to go on tour with us all the time, so if I'm going away, I never tour really long, so sometimes I tour for 3 weeks, they would go with me, and I didn't even have to go home. I have 1 suitcase, maybe 2, with all my stuff in it, and I don't miss a house, I just miss my guys when I'm away, but if they're with me, I don't even have to go home, so I'll be happy then, moving around with them.
And so the album, it kind of documents a lot of places. So I'm assuming that the cities you name on the album are places that you have memories and connections that have driven the lyrics. So tell me a little bit about that.
True, it's everywhere you go, and you come every year. You kind of return to the same places, also to tour, to make music. I always think or feel something when I enter a city, and it's like, oh, okay, this is how I feel when I am here, and this is what triggers something in me when I'm here. And it's cultural, it's the people, it's the weather, it's everything can trigger you or inspire you. So always when I'm in a city and when I'm traveling or even at the airport, I'm inspired to write a song. But I wanted to write about cities now, you know, this thing. And so sometimes I see city as an entity, as a character, or as a man or a person. And I write in a poetic way about that. And sometimes, for instance, in the case of London, I write about something that actually happened, an event that took place in London. For instance, the Great Fire.
And that's the track Days Gone By.
Yes, and it's about that. But still poetically written, so it's about the fire speaking to the people who live in the city and making them fearful and all that. So it's dark, you know, but it's also beautiful.
And it's quite a contrast to the track about Paris that has this gorgeous intro, and then it kind of goes, it's almost like Muse at the end. It gets like really panoramic.
Epic, yeah. Yeah, it's a whole different song. Like this, I would say there's like 3 emotions on the album, 3 sounds, and that song Paris is very epic. You know, it starts out beautifully, but it's like over the top in the end, and it's all about positivity. You know.
So if we look back at the projects you've done so many different things, and I guess the one that stands out, apart from the Ayreon stuff, is the work you've done with Devin Townsend, because he covers such a spectrum, particularly the heavier stuff.
Yeah.
Did you take some of that as inspiration for the new album? Was there a particular collaboration that fired that?
I would say whatever I did in the last 10 years, because I did so much different things, it all sponged into this album. I feel like this is like a full circle moment, you know, this album and this band. But defo, I get a lot of inspiration from Devin, from working with him, but also just from listening to his music, you know. And I learn a lot from him, like vocal-wise. I've been in the studio a couple of times with him, so I learned so much about singing, you know, about recording. Yeah. And we have a lot of fun. That's cool. But it's very inspiring to work with him. Same as Ayreon and Lucas, you know, those 2 guys, they are my biggest inspiration.
I was also really interested to read about the Icelandic band you work with. Well, that I heard a little bit of that.
Yeah.
How did that come about? Because that's again another little avenue.
Yeah. Actually, I met them when I was on tour with Pain of Salvation. They were also one of the bands on that tour. And they make like Icelandic folk pop music, and so well plays, a beautiful, beautiful band. And I always thought I wanted to do something with them. And eventually we got together for like a semi-classical album as a project, you know, as a one-time thing. And this like really lovely album came out of that, and it's still going well, really, truly. We did a theater tour with that in Holland, and it was received very well. It was great to do, yeah.
I think that's the great thing about progressive music, is that by its nature, it's progressive, and there are no boundaries.
No.
Stephen Wilson, for example, has had a lot of success in the UK.
Yeah.
And because he just keeps progressing and changing.
Yeah.
So it's great to see you stretching out.
Nice. Well, thanks. And also, you know, a lot of credit goes to the audience, right? So progressive and metal fans are open-minded about whatever their favorite artists are doing. So they will always check it out, at least. And you always see the black t-shirts in, you know, I did a children's theater play 5 years ago or something.
Really?
There's just metalheads in the audience because they just want to know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And they don't even have kids, they just come to see the show, you know? And everywhere I go, there's always a black T-shirt and somebody who loves prog music and metal music, and they check it out, and that's what I love so much about this scene. You know, it's like a brotherhood.
That's exactly right. Let's talk a little bit about the tour. So you've got, I guess it's kind of in two parts. You've got some dates supporting Epica as a support, and then you've just announced, which is great news for us, a co-headline tour with Scar Symmetry.
Yes.
Coming to London December the 4th, I think, at the Dome, which is a really nice venue in North London.
4th or the 9th?
Let me just have a look.
Yeah.
9th, you're absolutely right.
Oh, really?
You're good.
I'm never right.
You're
no,
good.
Okay, great. Good points for me. So yeah, true. Yeah, we're doing those shows. So that's a headlining show with Scar, and that's great. And it's also my Propane is also playing in that show, and that's a band of Jort Otto, our guitar player.
Okay.
So it's his band, and so that's a really good package. So that's worthwhile. And yeah, the tour with Epica we're looking forward to, because that's a massive tour and it's going all over Europe, and it's a fantastic band, and we're happy to play with them unto a good crowd, so we can win over a lot of people.
So is the idea when you go to these different cities to pull out and highlight the city from your album?
Yeah, I suppose if we do come across these cities where we have songs about it, then we will make an extra effort in playing it and talking about it to the audience. Absolutely, yeah.
And do you think that theme will continue to next, particularly places you do gigs? Oh no, I haven't got a song for you.
Yeah, what are we doing here?
Give me 6 months.
And the thing is also, I get already not out yet album, but I get mad emails from people. You did not write about my city. So I think I'll be obligated to make a second album with other cities, yeah. Otherwise I cannot enter the city, Yeah,
exactly.
They won't let me. Yeah.
And because everyone would love a nice long set, you've just got the one album. What other type of material do you think you're going to have in the set?
Well, we're doing a heavy show, so every older song and classic we choose, apart from the VUUR album, we will play some more heavy stuff. So we do some stuff, The Gathering, Devin Townsend, and of course Gentle Storm songs. So those songs will definitely be included. Yeah.
And will there be some anecdotes at the end
Obviously,
as well?
Yeah.
I saw that blog page on your website. It's great.
I talk a lot. Usually I talk more when I play on my own with acoustic guitar, so I talk a lot. But this should be like a good metal top show, so I shouldn't talk so much, but I can't promise anything.
Just do whatever you feel is great. I mean,
Thank you.
It's fantastic.
Thanks.
And it's so good to talk to you.
Thank you.
Welcome to London, and we'll be welcoming you back in December, so that's excellent.
So.
And good luck with the rest of the tour as it comes, and really looking forward to hearing you all live. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Likewise, thanks.
Bye.
Thank you.